one, go.
Bonjour, hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever the hell you're watching this. I'm Mike Orvis, and this is my triumphant, bloody return to the Geek Pride podcast. How the devil are you all out there in internet land? Today, I have with me the guy I literally have to have here because he's my boss. Little do you know, I'm under disciplinary action, and he has to supervise any Geek Pride content that I put out. So he has to be here, very much under duress. He was apparently getting a terrific blowjob before he got here. It is Matthew Geary, Lord and Saviour of Geek Pride Esquire.
Wow, that's some intro there, Mike. Wow.
Mate, I've had some sugar. I got these new. What are they called? They're called Red Velvet Fox's Crunch Creams.
Oh, they're amazing. They're top.
And I've been pretty good with the diet recently. That's why I'm so slim and sexy, as you can see. But I just broke today. I'm nervous about a thing tomorrow. It's a work thing. It's not very interesting for a podcast, but yeah. So I just take biscuits. Yeah, cool. And also joining us for the second time now. Is it
third time he on?
For the third time, a man of mystery to me. He swears he has 2 dogs. It is John Joe Cosgrove. How are you, sir?
I am very good, thank you. And no, I have 4 of the little buggers.
Oh my god, that's amazing. What dogs are they?
Yeah, what dogs are they?
They are Jack Russells.
Jack Russells. Right, well, what I'm going to need from you, John Joe, is just throughout the podcast, if we can just go back to Russell Watch 2017 and just find out what they're doing at any given time, because that would make me very happy. Apologies for the sound of the popo. Both my windows are open because it's basically too hot for a fat bearded fella to function. If I close the windows, I will just look like Jabba the Hutt.
Talking about fat bearded fellows, Michael. You looks like you might be able to meet one of your heroes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him on stage before, and I bumped into Jay Muse, which was kind of close. But yes, I'm going to be. I might even pay the money to get a photo with, or get him to sign a comic. I'm going to meet Kevin Smith, which is going to be amazing. I've got the internet. You won't see that because it's backwards, but that's the number 37 in hockey font tattooed on my wrist, because he's one of my pantheon of gods. So it's going to be incredibly exciting, and I'll try not to just hug him and not let go.
I can imagine security's going to be on you.
Dude, I'm stacked. I'll fucking fight all of security. Good news! I'll be so buff by the end of the month as well, because I'm like really sticking to a diet. So yeah, and I'll just bust out all the fighting moves.
What's your finishing maneuver?
Finishing maneuver.
Yeah, like
fighting. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't even know where you were gonna go there, Mike.
What's my finishing move in fighting? I'm quite fond of a reverse elbow.
I want to know what your sex finish maneuver is now as well, but yeah.
Well, normally they've fallen asleep. Because I'm a talker. Like, you can imagine, she's like, talk me off, and I'm like, it all started since the dawn of time. She's like, oh fuck, not this again. And then they
I didn't know we were going into erotic fiction tonight.
Well, I mean, mate, I'm steering this ship. Like, we could end up fucking anywhere. We could, like, there's a Krakens to the left of me, Cthulhu to the right. Here I am in a weird tentacly love fest that is the Geek Pride podcast. I'm quite fond of a reverse elbow or a flying knee, because I can do a reverse elbow pretty well, and it's really funny to watch a fat dude do a flying knee.
Do you remember like all the really lame finishing maneuvers the old wrestlers used to have to do, like Hulk?
Like Rikishi.
Sitting on them, and then you had like Hulk Hogan, which was a leg drop. He basically just placed his leg on you lightly. That's it. Oh no, he's got his leg on me. Game over, man. You know.
Was it Ultima? It wasn't Ultimate Warrior. It was the one before that. I think it might have been Ultimo Dragon. I could be completely wrong, and all the wrestling nerds are gonna fucking be up in arms. Wasn't there one dude who just blue-green mist at you?
Oh.
I vaguely remember a bit of I think it was a Japanese wrestler who just blue-green mist, and I'm like,
you're right. I think it might be Ultimo.
It's the mist. And it's yeah.
What's it?
I think it might have been Ultimo Dragon or something like that.
Yeah, possibly.
What about Papa Shango? Didn't he have like some sort of dust. Wasn't there a thing that he did it in the Ultimate Warrior like this years back, where he sort of kind of like threw some shit in his face and pushed him into like the Undertaker's coffin?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I had a really weird relationship with wrestling when I was growing up, because my mum went through really weird religious phases. So she was a New Ager for like a long time, and it's weird when you're 6 and your mum's saying you've got bad aura, and you're like, I just like Ninja Turtles, mum. I'm not really sure what a bad aura is. But then we became really conservative and Christian. I say we, like the household. So I think I pile drive my brother one time, so wrestling got banned from the house. But I still had WWF Warzone, I think it was, for N64, so I'd like play it in secret. And I always remember like what's his name, Austin 316, Stone Cold's theme. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. One sec, right, talking of like shit rock, right? I discovered this just before the podcast started. I've got to bring it up because I took a snapshot because I couldn't believe my fucking eyes. Right, lads, prepare yourself for the greatest band in the world. The band are called Art of Anarchy, right? So you know it's good. Featuring, y'all ready for this? Scott Stapp of Creed and members of Disturbed.
Wow. That's going to be something special right there.
More than your Mars kettle. Let's ignore the fact that Scott Stapp went mental 2 years ago and was driving around his cul-de-sac naked with a briefcase full of files saying the CIA said I gotta kill Obama, which is a real thing that happened.
Mike, a kitty Nadine has said Mike could totally cosplay as Kevin Owens.
No. Okay. That's Kate who's gonna do photos at
right. Hi Katie. Oh, and a regular watcher. Daniel's back. Evening, gents. Evening, Daniel. How's things?
I'm gonna pause. There we go. I can turn the sound down, and now I can see the the thing now.
The thing now.
There we go. The chat. The chat. I can now see it. Yeah. If I. Oh, it says the podcast has been paused. It should resume shortly. Is that me? Did I do that?
No, it should still be going, I hope.
Is it still going, guys?
Yeah. Well,
he killed it. I'm going to just close my internet down now.
No, I'm pretty sure it's still going. See you?
Daniel's back. Evening, gents.
Okay. Jesus Christ. All right, that's too much. Right, too much.
Oh, it says Irish. It does say broadcast interrupted.
Right, yeah, good. See, I'm on the fucking ball, mate. This is why host. Right,
all right, that's too much. Right, too much.
No, it's carrying on now. It's done its thing.
Yeah, okay. Too much Irish is Northern Irish, which is already too much Irish. Going through a speaker into a microphone through a speaker again. That's too many levels of Irish. And
3D Irish.
Yeah, that was like 5.1 surround sound Irish that I'm just not prepared for. So can you not do that ever again, please? What the fuck are we going to talk about today? I'm utterly unprepared.
Oh,
Mike, can you do the intro because you're so great and charismatic? And I'm like, yeah, sure, all right, buddy, fine. I mean, we're 15 minutes in, but I've got no idea what we're talking about.
Okay, I know there's going to be some big topics, but one that came for me today, which I thought was quite good, was are you guys going to be watching the Justice League film when that comes out in November?
Fuck yeah, I am.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Today they have there's been an interview with Kieran Hines, who's playing the main villain Steppenwolf, and he has said that apparently all his filming was done without meeting any of the cast.
Oh no! It's all going to be CG.
This is like that Ian McKellen thing. You know when there's that story of when Ian McKellen was filming The Hobbit, and he was in a load of green screen, and he just sat down at like this fake table and started crying, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And he was like, "When I entered acting, it was to react with humans." And yeah, but they got really sad. You don't want to make Gandalf cry. Like, you failed at life if you make fucking Gandalf cry.
Big time.
Not even the Balrog made Gandalf cry.
I can't even imagine Ian McKellen crying. I can imagine him just going, "Fuck this shit, I've had enough."
Apparently he was quite grumpy on set, from what I've been told. So, yeah.
They gave him another £10 million, and he was like, I think I can do this acting.
It's sort of like an Alec Guinness sort of thing, really, isn't it? Sort of just sort of like a bit.
Oh yeah, Alec Guinness in Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
John, when you do your Ian McKellen voice, you're like this. You're like our group's Simon from the Yogscast, which is actually making my life incredible right now. So if you could just do that voice more often, just say like, I'm a dwarf and I'm digging a hole, and that'll just make my life. Really.
Joe, I imagine it sounded good then, but if I try it now, it will sound like shit.
Where are you from, John Joe?
Originally from
digits?
London.
Tell me where you're at, bro.
Is this going to a dating site?
It might do.
I originally from London, but I Essex. I'm not one of the the tanned and fake people with all the extensions,
That's what he says. That photograph is just a lie. What he's got big, bright, white teeth, fake tan, massive muscles, and small dogs. You do have small dogs.
Oh my God! Yeah. Excuse me, Jack Russell Watch 2017. What are they up to, John Joe? With the latest news in Jack Russell watching. What's going on there, John Joe, on the ground?
I can confirm that 2 of them are still outside trying to look for friends. The other 2 just don't give a shit and they're laying inside.
They don't give a shit, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, if you are interested in looking at dogs, there's a wonderful Facebook page called the Old Friends Dog Sanctuary. It's just like full of old dogs. They've recently joined up with something called explore.org, where they have live webcams. You can just watch old dogs just running around being old dogs, and it's literally the best fucking thing. It's got me through this week. I had a pretty shocking week. I'm like, this is all right. This it's lovely.
And when Mike says he watched lots of old dogs on webcams, it's that sort of, it's just like, that's what they call it, old dogs,
I was going to say that there are also bears on there, but I don't want to dig myself in a deep hole.
That means that you've got equal opportunity on your webcam viewing.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why my webcam. So I'm secretly a cam boy. That's why I've got such a sweet setup. It's good for all the angles. Yeah,
for all the angles.
Look at these bad boys.
Very weird now.
Well, fucking you cast me at the helm of this ship, John Joe. You didn't know what you were doing, but Matt was fully fucking aware of what was going to happen when you put me in charge of this podcast.
Yeah, no, I've just gone blind on this one.
Excellent. You can be the dude. Like, if this was the pirate analogy, I'm like fucking Crazy Beard the pirate, and Matt is like my stammering second in command, like, sir, the treasure, and then you can be the dude who's like way up in the mast just going, I see a whale, sir, I see a whale, and I'm like, blast the whale, we'll kill a kraken instead.
You know what, that actually sounds so much like Jeffrey Rush. That was brilliant.
So that's
believe in ghost stories.
Because you're living in one. That's got Mr. Krabs now.
No, do you know what? I start saying like the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob. I'm the Flying Dutchman.
This has just got super random. Like, it was all pretty random, but it's got super random.
I tried bringing this onto a topic. I started talking about Steppenwolf, and then all of a sudden we're back onto Dog Watch. We're watching old dogs on webcams, talking about bears, and then somehow we're on pirates.
Yes, correct.
Well, Daniel says this time next week, Game of Thrones. Are we excited?
I've been caught up by a friend because I only watch Game of Thrones if it's on and I happen to be sat with someone who's watching it. So I know a lot about Game of Thrones, but I haven't like ever sat down and watched it in sequence. I just watch random episodes and go, oh, that's nasty. Is he still alive? Oh, he's not. Oh, okay, brilliant.
What are you doing to yourself, man?
You can't do that.
Hang on. Now's a good time to remind Matthew Geary that he needs to come to LFCC this year because you have a vendetta with Finn Jones that you need to sort. I
do, and Daniel Portman. They owe me money, those bastards.
They owe you 20 quid.
They owe me money. I'm gonna get it.
Try and get it off them. I mean, but he is now the Iron Fist.
Yeah, yes. Well, if you see, obviously, because I'm going to be in Manchester MCM, so I can't sort of go down there and sort of go, hey, motherfucker, I'm going to have to sort of get my money back. You're going to have to go up to him and go, hey, Finn, hey, Daniel, if they're there, because I'm not 100% sure they're there. So do you remember this? And then play the video. Remember this? It's like he wants paid. I'm coming to sort of get his money back for him. Look intimidating and shit. You know?
There is only one way you can fight Finn Jones. You've got to pay Mike Coulter to beat the shit out of him. That's the only way you can do it. You actually have to get Luke Cage to take on Iron Fist.
Just very quickly, talking about Iron, fucking Power Man, brilliant. Well, that is his name. But yeah, that series had all like the bullet holes and stuff, and I called it like by about episode 3. I was like, oh, this dude's getting a load of holes in his clothes. That's going to become a fashion statement or like an activist statement of this dude standing up against gang oppression and police oppression and blah blah blah. And then they all start wearing holes in their clothes. That's now a thing. That's now like a real thing that people are actually doing. Well, there's like a couple of girls in my office. They're all wearing like their summery outfits, and some of them don't wear summer dresses, and they're wearing like t-shirts and jeans with holes in them. And I know I sound like I'm 90. They've got jeans with holes in them, but like the tops have all got holes in them now. And I'm like, oh, is that a thing? Because I thought that was like not a thing.
I just imagine that they've gone shopping, they've got all this stuff, and they go, how can we make it fashionable? Yes,
release the moth.
Love, can you bring me the shotgun? Yeah, that'll do.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay. So Game of Thrones. Then.
What Geek podcast needs is 3 white men talking about fashion.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah, and I was a king of fashion, man. I remember the days with my super baggy trousers and my big massive chain and my blue hair and stuff.
I hate to say you were Flay for a second there.
I hate to break it to you, Matt, but you wear waistcoats, and unironically, you're not allowed to talk about fashion.
I look good in waistcoats. In my favourite mustard yellow waistcoat, which everybody loves.
You look like an extra from Cluedo.
I got to wait.
I was going to say a shit snooker player, but yeah.
When I was my old job, I was the only one who used to wear waistcoats, and I used to get people used to give me grief, and then lots of other people started coming in waistcoats. So I'm like, oh yeah, giving me grief. Now you're all wearing waistcoats. When I see everybody rocking up with yellow mustard colour waistcoats, they'll be all like, yeah, I did that.
What a glorious legacy to leave behind.
What did you do in your life, Matt? Mustard coloured waistcoats.
When they're cosplaying the mask.
Anyway, Game of Thrones.
Yes. I just started. My missus hadn't watched it, so I literally forced her to watch 6 series worth in the last month and a half, 2 months, because there was no way that I wasn't going to be able to watch the new one, which comes out the day after my birthday when I get back from Malta. Game of Thrones is on, and she'll be like, oh, let's spend time together, and I'll be like, yeah, spending time together watching Game of Thrones, and you have to basically know what's going on, because if you start asking me questions, I'm going to kill you. So she finished watching the last one yesterday, so she's up to date now, and we're good to go, and I'm super excited.
The romance never dies, yes. If you ask me a question, I will kill you.
But it's the worst thing ever, man. It's just like you're sitting there and they're like, do you want to go and see a film? Okay. I want to go and see X film, which has like a Marvel film. Name a Marvel film. I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to go and see that. And I was like, have you seen the other ones? No. Okay. Are you going to ask me questions? No. And then they get there and you're watching the film. Who's the guy with the shield? What's that guy doing? It's like, oh no!
Obviously, that's Mr. Shield. How do you not know about Mr. Shield?
If I wasn't watching it properly, I would come up with some random shit. But it's just like, you're gonna kill this for me, man. Please stop.
Do you know what? You could look at Captain America: Civil War and just rename everyone for how they look. Yeah, so you got Mr. Shield, you got Mr. Robot, you got Mr. Robot's black friend, you've got
Incredible Arm,
the Incredible Arm. Yeah, you've got. You got the guy, the spider guy thing.
Spider Boy.
You got
Hawkman. You've got
No, it wouldn't be Hawkman. He'd be bow and arrow guy.
Oh no! I'm talking about Falcon.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, okay.
Yeah. No. Jeremy Renner's would just be archery dude.
Archery dudes.
Black Widow just be Marvel Catwoman.
No.
Black Panther would just be Cat. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
Racial allegory.
Yeah. Dwayne Dibley. Dwayne Dibley. That's a Red Dwarf reference there for anybody.
About the references.
I know, but people...
that never work. Like, why would you? If someone's either going to get a reference or they're not going to get it.
Mike, are you saying you've never watched Red Dwarf?
Yes, I like Red Dwarf.
There we go.
Yeah.
You only like Red Dwarf.
And I let out a hearty chuckle, John Joe, in response to your lovely reference.
A bit restrained.
Well, I have to hold this thing together while you two dunderheads are running around shouting Dwayne. Yes, while you're running around shouting Dwayne Dibley at each other.
No.
Dwayne Dibley.
Dwayne Dibley. You go Dwayne Dibley.
Dwayne Dibley. Daniel's asking, have you guys seen Spider-Man yet? I'm going tomorrow,
yes.
so no spoilers. I have not seen it yet because I'm not allowed to go and see it yet. So, yeah, my brother saw it and he loved it.
I will not spoil it, but I will say,
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man's it. Yeah, that's a.
Oh!
I was really surprised by that one.
You fucking ruined that now. I'm not going.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you that there's actually a villain in it as well. Imagine how much that'll fuck you up.
Yeah, Batman's in it. That's amazing.
Technically, that's right. Yeah, so I've been a fan of Spider-Man ever since I was a kid. I remember watching the cartoon. I played multiple games, read loads of the comic books. Most of the comic books made fuck all sense to me. But when I watched this film, it was the first time I really watched it and thought, this is a true Spider-Man film. This was made so well. It actually felt like it was the kind of Spider-Man that I used to read about. So it used to interact with this world that was filled with heroes and villains. It actually followed on narrative that you may have been following for years. And being honest, I know a lot of people take the MCU villains and think that most of them are shit, and some of them are. But the Vulture is probably one of the best villains that's been on screen.
That's because Michael Keaton's fucking amazing. I watched Birdman the other day.
Oh, it's such a good film.
Yeah,
such a good film.
I was like, I tried to watch it ages ago, but the shoddy copy I had wasn't working. It was one of the, not that I encourage such things, but yeah, I got to watch it on like Netflix, which I pay for, and
you added that in there. I pay for
it was either Netflix or Amazon Prime, but I paid for both of them anyway. And it's very random, but it's really good in a random way. It's like, have you seen it, John Joe?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yes. Okay. For anybody else who hasn't seen it, there's going to be a spoiler here, so stop listening. But is he actually a superhero, or is it in his mind? Is he just a bit sort of fucked up?
It's all in his head.
It's all in his head.
And Emma Watson's back on the smack by Emma Watson.
Emma Watson.
I can't believe I've just mispronounced the name.
That's
of my
how stoned you were watching that
Emma
film.
Stone.
She turned into Emma Watson.
Emma Stone is back on the smack that she was like trying to stay away from, and she probably he's jumped out the window and she's been caught in his narrative because he's so convincing as an actor, and that's why she's all like,
right, okay, yeah,
actor,
an actor.
Mark Cox says, I have a sudden urge to wear some sideways fares and some platforms. No idea where that's come from, Mark, but thanks for sharing.
Different post, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Please send your confessions in to the chat, and we will help you. Is there anything that you want to? Right, this is a public sounding board. If there's anything that you need to confess or get off your chest, we at the Geek Pride Podcast will help you with that. We're going to talk a little bit more about Spider-Man, and then when we're done about that, we're going to go back to the chat and we'll just have a read through. So if there's anything you wish to confess, if you think any of us is particularly sexy, then you let us know, and we'll do our best to help you out with that. Oh, Jack Russell Watch 2017 is heating up. What's going on, John Joe?
He's barking at a friend over in the field. He's saying, "I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you, bitch." I'm assuming.
Is it a bitch or is it a dog? Which one? Male or female?
I can't. Be nice. From how far away it is, I can't really see it from here. Next update at 10 o'clock.
Right. Okay. Looking forward to that.
So, Spider-Man. How do you like it?
Spider-Man, I think was awesome. I absolutely loved the film, and as much as I enjoyed the original movies, the Tobey Maguire films, and hated the Andrew Garfield ones because I think they were utter shite. But
and like
he was good.
The first one really like nailed some of the special effects, and I don't think Garfield was a particularly bad Spider-Man.
I liked him.
Wow, it is properly kicking off outside my house. I'm hoping
you've got coppers and guns now.
I think last time there was almost a fire, and now Mike's about to get robbed or whatever.
And they don't know about my spinning back fist. That'd be fine.
No, it's your reverse elbow. Your leg drop. You're gonna hit them.
I better recognise the spinning elbow. Let me tell you that for free. I've got the moves. I've seen them all on television.
Slightly going back to wrestling, my favourite move is always the Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, but fuck anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. The sharpshooter by Bret Hart. Thank you very much. You got to spend like ages, and no, you just sit there while I put this leg around here and this leg around here, and I don't kick or anything, so it won't get it right.
I do quite like the Walls of Jericho, and am known to do that to children at family parties when they get a bit too rambunctious
on the concrete.
Yeah, obviously they've got to learn. It's the thing is, right? I look like the way I look like, so children see that as, oh fuck me, it's an ent, let's climb it. So they will just attack me at any given moment. So for the first like 3 hours, that's like, oh, you little scamp, and then they'll get out like their toy weapons, and I always get excited because like some kid will crack out Thor's hammer, and I'm like, excuse me, the true son of Odin is here, thank you very much, and then I'll just start bapping them on the head. But then after like 4 hours, and you've had some barbecue food, and you've eaten until you hate yourself, which isn't a lot when you're me, and then you just don't want to fight anymore. You just have to like little display of power to one of them, and then they all get scared of you and leave you alone. Top tip there.
Katie Nadine says sharpshooter for life. I agree.
She is a massive wrestling nerd. We should get her on this podcast. I've invited her several times, but then she's like, yeah, I'd really like to do it. And then do you know what?
We're talking about wrestling, and Dave Foy, who's a massive wrestling fan, is not here. Where is Dave Foy? He didn't reply to any of the messages. What a wanker. He's not doing message. Oh. But yeah, we'll get him on. We'll get Katie on. They can talk wrestling.
Do a fucking wrestling part and let me host it because I know fuck all.
Wrestling.
Glorious.
Okay, so I'll try and bring it a little bit back on topic. Spider-Man. So not so much a spoiler, but Kevin Feige. I know it's Feige, but I like calling him Feige. Kevin Feige has basically said that the next Spider-Man film will take place about 2 minutes after the end of Avengers 4.
Ooh.
And I think it's about 2 months gap between Avengers 4 and Spider-Man 2, or whatever title they're going to give the...
Shit the bed, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's after Infinity Wars?
This is after Infinity Wars. This is going to be... They're not calling it Phase 4 at the moment, so I don't know if they're going to go with it being a Phase 4, or if they're going to come up with a new term for the new films. But the only films we've got at the moment confirmed for this is obviously Spider-Man 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They're the only ones that are so far announced going forward after Infinity War 2.
I'm slightly worried about them carrying on with the Guardian of the Galaxy ones, because I really love the first one. Second one equally as good, but it's just like, I don't know if they can keep on getting gold from them and stuff. And
are we going to see diminishing returns?
Yeah, that's it. That sort of worries me.
Are they going to? Because I felt a little bit that Guardians 2 fell into the minion trap, which was a phrase that I coined on the Geek Pride website. I think it's my review for Anchorman 2. If you're bored and want to read about the minion problem, where they take like the comic relief from the first film, remove all like the heart and the soul of it, and then really focus on that and make that the focus. They try and focus on the funnies, and I feel that a lot of the negative reviews of Guardians 2 was about its tiny Groot the movie.
Yeah.
Do you
know what I would say about the first 5 minutes when that whole big battle scene's going on? I liked it because I thought it was quite fun, but at the same time I'm thinking, they're fighting a giant fucking squid creature. Why aren't we watching this?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I won't go into length about the problem I have with Minions because we'll be here all fucking day. But
you didn't watch Despicable Me 3 then, Mike?
No, weirdly enough, Matt. No, I didn't. I thought best leave that. I'll leave that one
for the DVD.
I went to it with my missus and her daughter, and I think I was laughing more than the kids were. But yeah, that's just showing me. Very easily amused.
Yeah, I've got to say, on the first Despicable Me film, I loved the first one. I thought it was a really well made film. There was one part that came up that I honestly thought was really funny, and I was the only person in the cinema that laughed at this bit. It's near the beginning when Gru goes into the Bank of Evil, and there's a title above the door. It says the Bank of Evil, formerly Lehman's Brothers. And me being I like some of my satire. I thought that was done really well. I thought that was such a great joke.
Yeah.
And I laughed quite hard. And I looked around, it's like 100 odd people look at me. I thought, what the fuck have I just done?
Think about where you were. You were in a theatre in Essex.
I know, they probably never even
with a bunch of parents with their kids. They're there to see the little yellow men go banana, and you go ha ha ha. He said banana. Where actually fuck off, Matt. Whereas actually the first Despicable Me film is an incredible tale about found family and what it means to become a father, and it's a really beautifully crafted tale, whereas the rest of them are fucking awful.
Well, the third one's all about motherhood and becoming a mum and stuff.
So it's retreading the old ground of the first one.
Well, yeah, because we don't watch any films that don't retread the same ones, like maybe...
Coincidence. If you fucking dare. If you dare, Matthew.
What, Mike? What?
Don't fucking start.
What?
I'll tell you what, if you want films that retread the same ground, look at the Austin Powers films, especially Austin Powers 2 and 3. They're basically the same plot, but with a couple of different characters in each one.
Or like...
I mean, if we're going to be hypercritical, every film follows the hero's journey. So, all film is going over old ground. Fanar, film critic. But yeah, anyway... Enough of that nonsense. We spoke about Spider-Man. We spoke about Game of Thrones. What else is going on in the world of geekery and nonsense?
Do you know what? Last week, we didn't mention it too much, but the trailer for Inhumans has debuted. And when it was announced as a film, I was looking forward to it because I've read the Inhumans comics years ago, and I thought it was very well done. I thought they can never make this into a film. And I was kind of right because they cancelled it. And the TV show is now coming up. And part of me kind of thinks it looks quite good. The dog Lockjaw looks quite fun, and Black Bolt, obviously they're keeping quite faithful to him. But is it just me, or does it look like it's filmed on a fucking budget of nothing?
I haven't watched it, to be honest. It hasn't really pinged my radar at all, so I've not really been paying attention.
But yeah, I agree. I don't know an awful lot about the Inhumans, but Black Bolt really interests me as a character because he rocks up in it's one of the Secret Wars. It's not the Secret War where the Skrulls take over. It's the other one where Nick Fury sends a group of heroes out to go and do this undercover op in Latveria. But they piss off the wrong people. I think it's this story. If I'm wrong, Marvel nerds, then yell at me. But DC's better, so grow up. And then Black Bolt comes down, and they're like, "What does Black Bolt want?" And he just whispers the word, "It's war." But if you don't know about Black Bolt, his power is that his voice can shatter worlds. So he whispers. He just goes, "It's war." And then this fucking massive explosion just blows everything up within a mile radius, and they're like, oh shit, we pissed Black Bolt off. I love nonsense powers. Nonsense powers make me happy. That's where I laugh inappropriately in movies. In the first Avengers, every time Hulk turned up and was just throwing cars at people, I was like, this is amazing. I don't know what it is. Nonsense strong powers, nonsense strong enemies always make me giggle. Like Batman v Superman when he's punching soups and he's the kryptonite is losing its effect and he's just pow 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 tonk. Just looks at him and goes, oh fuck. That shit always makes me laugh.
I will be honest.
Sorry, John Joe. A few comments here. And Katie says, "Magic the Gathering new release?" ? And
Yes.
Zelda DLC ?
Yes, there is Zelda DLC. There's like a super hard mode has just been released with I think it's called a Lionel. I've played about 5 hours of Breath of the Wild, so I can't really comment.
Right.
But yeah, that looks fucking cool. And then there's a new DLC that looks almost, from the 2 screenshots I've seen, it seems to maybe focus a bit more on Zelda. And there are rumours that you might be able to play as Zelda, which would be fucking cool as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I have played. This is I don't know. This might actually sound good with you guys, but anyone else listening might think I'm weird. I've played 65 hours on Zelda.
Nice.
I've completed Breath of the Wild. I've not just been like hunting around or whatever. But I will be honest. It is probably the best game I've completed for a long time. And it actually felt
since 1998 when Ocarina of Time was released.
probably
never played a Zelda game in my life.
Well, you wear waistcoats, so.
Yeah, I do. I was actually going to wear one for this podcast. I kind of wish I did now.
Well, go to your wardrobe. We can wait.
Oh no, it's far away.
Definitely won't talk about how much of a wanker you are while you're away. I promise.
I'm so glad I got you in this podcast, Mike. I'm so glad.
I've only ever played 2 Zelda games, and the other one being the Wind Waker, and I actually quite like Wind Waker.
Wind Waker's amazing. Yeah,
I thought it was quite fun, but this game, it had a nice little mix because it was a nice sort of like N64 kind of mix to it, where you just had all the speech bubbles, you weren't actually hearing them talk. Then you had the cut scenes, and the voice acting was bloody amazing. I thought it was done really well, and the graphics, okay, Nintendo unfortunately will never peak to what Xbox or PS4 has, but it was so beautiful, and it just looked amazing playing that game.
Even playing it on the upscaled 480 on the Switch screen, it still looks fucking beautiful. That was something that really kind of took my breath away when I was playing it. It's just a really good looking game. You get to the top of a hill and you just watch stuff. And what's really cool is that enemies kind of not in as good as, like, say, Skyrim, but if enemies are being rendered within your render distance, you can see that they're doing their own thing. So, for example, you'll come across a camp of bokoblins, for example, which are basically goblins. And they won't have their weapons on them. They'll have like a weapons rack, or they'll have them all up against a rock, because they're just chilling out, eating chicken, talking about how much Samantha in accounts has lost weight, and Darren wants to take a pass at her, and they're just talking about that. And if you're like sneaky enough, you can run in. But there's times when I've like gone in on a parasail and then landed in the middle, and they're like, Jesus fucking Christ, and they're like running for their weapons, and you're chasing after them with a stick, going, I'll kill you. And it's just really cool. Like the enemies in this game, in this Zelda game, more than any other Zelda game, the enemies have character and heart. And I love that about it, because
heart. How do characters have heart? How do AI characters have heart, Mike?
Because they fucking do, man. Like, they exist. They exist.
They're
like
alive.
They don't feel like robotic. Some of them don't even. It doesn't even feel like some of them hate you. It feels like you've encroached on their territory. Like Octoroks, for example. You're just walking past, and they're like, "Oi, fuck off! This is my lake." Right, that kind of thing, and it's just like it feels like the enemies are there with a purpose, and it's not just like, oh, these are the obstacles that I have to fight. Does that make sense? So
they got families and shit when they go home. Well, they don't go home because you've killed them all, you bastard.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't worry about it, because spoilers. Whenever the blood moon rises, they all fucking come back to life anyway. So
Well, looks like looks like Geek Pride's having a bit of a conversation here. I'm guessing this is one of our fellow Geek Priders who's not put on their personal page, but somebody from Geek Pride has bought themselves an Xbox after 4 years. I'm going to guess Josh or somebody like that. And Katie has said that purchases of Xbox should be celebrated, as they should, Katie. They should be celebrated.
Meh.
Katie also says, I would have gone for Powerland.
I've got a PC and a PlayStation. Meh. Although I'm fucked off with PlayStation at the minute, right? PlayStation needs to go sit in the corner and think about what it's doing, because you know the bullshit that Sony's doing at the minute?
Nope.
Right. So originally, back in there with Rocket League, which
Yes.
if you haven't played Rocket League, it's football with rocket cars. It's fucking brilliant, and it's the only time I sound like I like sports. Because I'll play it and I'll be like, fucking hell, mate, call that a pass. Oh, you backdoored that, didn't you? Oh, what am I playing with? A bunch of fucking idiots. But honestly, it brings out a side of me that I'm terrified and aroused by. But anyway, Sony were talking about cross-platform play, and Xbox were like, fucking A, absolutely. And then everyone got really excited. I think I even wrote about it for, I think it was Geek Pride, or it was that other site I wrote for. It's like, oh my god, this is finally going to happen. We're going to get cross-platform play. And then Microsoft went, cool, well, now PC and Xbox players, that's cross-platform. We sorted it out. What about you, Sony? And then Sony just fucking spat their dummies out, threw their toys out of the pram, and now there's not cross-platform play for PlayStation players. That's a lot of P's in a sentence to say with your mouth.
Well, I suppose Xbox and Microsoft are effectively the same, aren't they? So it's easy for them to do that and stuff. I think the issue, like, as much as as a concept, I think it's a great idea. If you're a company, it's kind of, well, they could take our subscribership, could take our players, our people are going to...
But really, could they? Because if you've still got the exclusives, then it doesn't matter, does it?
I know, but the exclusives won't be cross-platform then, will they?
Why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be? You can have something like you could do it with Destiny. When someone had like a day one exclusive shiny fucking armor, then they had the day one exclusive shiny armor. In fact, it would be better to have cross-platform play, because then you can show off all the cool exclusives that you got, and then someone will go, oh fucking hell, dude, that's a really cool car shell design. Where'd you get that from? Oh, dude, it's a PlayStation exclusive. Oh man, that sucks. I might get it on my PlayStation, or I might get a PlayStation then. You know, if someone's really into a game and all the multiplayer games are cross-platform, and you go, oh, the PlayStation have better exclusives though, and then it's the rush to get exclusives. They're not fucking timed exclusives. It's to get literally exclusive little bits and bobs for your console.
So just like
Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed, which I'm only playing because no fucker will play Mario Kart with me. The PC version has the dudes from Team Fortress 2 in it. The Xbox version has, I think it was Crash Bandicoot? Not Crash Bandicoot, Banjo-Kazooie. And the PlayStation, the Nintendo
Mario
Wii version had, no, it didn't have Mario. It had, I think it had Wreck-It Ralph or something weird like that. Yeah. But like, and Soul Calibur, for example, they've always had console exclusive characters, and you go, man, I really want to play as Yoda. Oh, well, you're going to have to get the Xbox version then. Oh, fuck, all right, I guess I'll do that. I bought a PlayStation 4 because it exclusively had Street Fighter on it.
Well, I bought an Xbox because that Halo on it. That was what pushed me to it.
Exactly.
And
Yeah. So you could, cross-platform play doesn't hurt anyone. It only helps, and you could use that. Like, let's think cynically, like businessmen for a minute. You could literally use that to advertise your wares, to advertise the fact that, hey, you know, all these cool cars are coming to PlayStation. We've just done a deal with, I don't know, fucking Hot Wheels, or we've just done a deal with the Fast and the Furious, or we've just done a deal with, I don't know, Rick and Morty or something.
I suppose
these are all things that have appeared in Rocket League. And you could use that as I say, you can use that as a platform to sell your wares and show why you are better.
I suppose it would you get good competition between platforms who, as consumers, we would probably get more benefits from it. So it's like when supermarkets are competing against each other, prices go down, you get more freebies and stuff. So yeah, that could work, and maybe that's what their issue is, because they don't want to have to compete. They just want to sort of do their thing. Maybe that's what the issue is. Yeah, I think cross-platform play would be amazing. You know, it's upsetting because a lot of my friends, most of my friends are Xboxers, but all my friends sort of like who seem to live sort of down south of the wall.
That must be what it is. Maybe it's a north-south divide.
Yeah, a lot of ones down south tend to be PlayStations and stuff, so I can't play games with them because they're on PlayStation.
Do you know why that is? Because the word PlayStation sounds terrible with a northern accent. PlayStation. I've got that new COD on PlayStation. No, I've got that new COD on Xbox. Xbox sounds fine. Like you know nothing, Jon Snow. Come and play some FIFA on the Xbox. You couldn't say you know nothing, Jon Snow. Come and play FIFA on my PlayStation. Sounds fucking nonsense. That's probably why. That's scientifically proven.
I need to get.
If Game of Thrones mentions PlayStation or Xbox, I'm never watching that show again.
Just imagine, I need to get Gearson on one of these podcasts again. In fact, we mentioned it. You need to get him on to Pitch Please at some point in
the
time.
other Geek Pride podcast.
Yes.
Chat.
Yes.
What a fantastic plug. Yes, for those of you that enjoy movies and film and TV and comic books, you should check out Pitch Please, in which 3 people from Geek Pride pitch various films, TVs, comic books from various franchises, and then the host picks the winner. I regularly lose and get very salty about it, and Ben is a manipulative asshole.
But that's just the way Ben works. If you've ever played D&D with Ben or any sort of RPG, he gives with one hand and takes with the other, and he's
I'm as you think I'm bad in podcasts. You want to play with me in D&D because I make meta jokes. And I table talk without table talking. I wrap the DM up in their own lore and go, but you said, and then they're like, fucking, you get hit by lightning, and yeah, it's just, and then try to make everyone cry with like some tragic backstory or some terrible flaw.
I actually quite liked Ben's pitch for the Pac-Man one, the space battle.
Wait, what do you mean you liked it?
I liked it.
The aliens. I know what I'm talking about. You should, you can subscribe. It's on iTunes and YouTube and SoundCloud and basically anywhere you can get podcasts. You should go check it out. It's called Pitch Please. It'll be on this website wherever it is. Here we are live here. Right, it'll be there.
It is It is very, very amusing. They have so far you've done right. So the first one, what was your first one on?
Superman 2.
Yeah, Superman 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. No, yeah, Superman 2. You've had what was it? Ninja Turtles. Fallout. The Black Widow film. They were quite good. The Black Widow film ones were very good. I liked yours, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So did I.
Some of yours, I know. Some of them I'm like, but I kind of like that one, and it's just like, it's
if I
kind
hadn't have won the Ninja Turtles one, I would have literally left the show. Like I was so. it's like I've got a Batman pitch. Like if we ever get to doing a Batman comic, I've got a Batman pitch that has been sat in the back of my head that I have pitched to people before. I might have even done it on this podcast or Gentlemanly Chats. But yeah, I've got it. I've got the pitch, and if I fucking lose, I'm going to be so mad, so mad.
Well, anybody who's sort of who's going to watch this now, who's watching it now, or who's going to be listening later on, we're going to be doing a live Pitch Please.
We are, yes.
With Ben, Mike, and Callum, and myself judging, and they're going to have 20 minutes to pitch a
thing.
A thing. So we're looking for people to come up with ideas of what they need to pitch. So if you basically, it can be a film, it can be a game, anything. They need to pitch something. At the minute it's generally being being films or sort of like the Superman 2 or a film version of Fallout or
This week, just as like spoilers, one of us pitches an anime series and it's incredible.
Would that one of us be Michael Orvis?
No! Whatever do you mean?
Yeah. I thought the Star Wars ones were quite good as well. To be honest, I kind of like, as podcasts go, I actually quite like it when you've got somebody...
What's going on that's a quote. That is a quote right there. As podcasts go, I actually quite like it. Amazing.
That's going to be your profiles.
Yeah. No. Do you know what? I listen to every single one when I'm going into work. So I've listened to every single one. Not that I have to upload it and do all the gump for it as well, you fucks. But yeah.
You're supposed to do that. You could have foisted that up on Ben or Callum. But as they've proved, they can't be trusted to do anything.
So it's very enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
I've just got to say, with the whole Pitch Please thing, two things. One, I've so got to get on this on one episode because that would be a dream to pitch a film because I've got so many ideas I'd love to run. And two, for this live one that you're going to be doing, I've already got a great suggestion.
Go on.
All right. I want you to take an item that you'd find in your kitchen and make a film trilogy out of it.
Okay. That's really weird though because I've got Star Wars in my kitchen drawers. I just keep Star Wars in there.
No, yeah. All right. Let's just But imagine you've got no geeky stuff in your kitchen. Imagine you're going to a friend's place because obviously your kitchen's full of sci-fi shit. So
friends.
Sorry. All right. Imagine if Matt's gone to one of his friends and he's going to their kitchen and I don't know.
Right.
Say like you've got Spatula the movie. I don't know.
Right.
So imagine you've now got to do a film trilogy with the Spatula.
Okay. I'll pitch it to the lads and see what they.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna fly, to be honest.
Look, I'm just a messenger. I will pass it on to the gentleman.
I had an idea, but I can't remember what it is now. I was sitting there, I was thinking,
brilliant.
I know.
Please elaborate on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh no, it's gone now.
Whoa, hang on, lads. It's 3 minutes past 10. Fucking Jack Russell Watch 2017, please.
Oh yeah,
John. What's going on with those furry lads?
They have now disappeared. I believe they are in bed.
Ninjas of the night. That you heard it here first from the Geek Pro podcast. 4 Jack Russells can't be found. It's terrifying. Excellent.
No man, fucking hell.
Cool.
Okay.
So, what else are we gonna? Why would we plug in Pitch Please?
No, just saying because I think because you've only got 2 episodes left, and you need to get some things to pitch, basically.
Yeah.
Between
also, you can just send an email to content@geek-pride.co.uk with the subject heading "Pitch Please." You can do that if you've got an email.
Callum's outro was a very strange outro.
Was Callum high as fuck? Like, what was the outro about? He sounds. I don't know what the hell was going on. The thing is, I was like, here, I'll do some outros, and then Ben was all of a sudden like, hey, can some people do some outros? And I was like, Ben, I've done them, mate. Yeah, well, I'm just gonna get some other people to do it. I'm like, oh, thanks, Ben. You just tell me that shit, and I'll do some more.
It was sort of like a Stewie voice, you know. You're gonna make a story then? You're gonna have a protagonist, and is he gonna, find himself in the middle and.
So yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing that you can think. I really speaking of Family Guy, I can occasionally do a Joe Swanson voice, but like it comes and goes. And it really upsets me. Occasionally in my YouTube channel that is not affiliated with Geek Pride, so we won't talk about it. I will do like I'll be talking about something like I've got to go over here, and I go Peter, and then like it will come out, and eventually I'm like, I've got to go over here and get some carrots. And then I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. Whose phone was going off? Brian! Anyway, we've devolved into just madness and nonsense. So Pitch Please is a good podcast. You should check it out. Gentlemanly Chats is on some kind of hiatus because I can't really find regular guests. And I don't think you lot want to just hear me go on about my life. But yeah, anyway, one more big thing we should talk about, and then we should disappear into the night like 4 Jack Russells. Oh my god, hang on, there's 4 of them. Ninja Turtle Jack Russells. Yes.
It's kind of like like Samurai Pizza Cats, but it's not. Do you remember Samurai Pizza Cats?
Yeah.
Sadly, I do.
Yeah, that's like they came out roughly about the same time as Turtles because they're like, wait a minute, let's buy into this pizza animal thing. What can we think of? Cats, samurai cats. That's not cool, man. Samurai pizza cats. Wow, that's it. Sold.
Oh no, the freakiest one I remember from my childhood was probably Biker Mice from Mars.
Fuck off! Biker Mice from Mars is amazing.
I'm not saying it wasn't amazing.
Jason and the Wheeled Warriors.
It was brilliant. Then you had, was it Street Sharks as well?
Fucking Street Sharks! I love Street Sharks, man. That's why I found out that the whale shark is the largest shark, but the most harmless. Because on the side of every box there would be shark facts, and I was like, oh, interesting. And I never really gave a fuck about the original one, the Great White Shark, like the leader. I never liked the leaders of anything. I was always like, I want to be the renegade or the party dude. So I like the hammerhead one, and I like the whale shark. He was kind of cool. They had really weird rubbery mouths, where like as an adult thinking about it, like the texture of that feels a lot like other things that are rubbery.
Like a flashlight.
Yeah, but as a kid you're like, I'm a street shark. It's just weird.
Oh no, I got a really bad image in my head now. Mike growing up with his street shark and then figuring out this feels weird.
I might have forgotten about this, Matthew. This glorious bit of rubbery genius.
Oh no.
I'm very worried about pulling out a condom or something.
That I bought from a church.
No way! Yes!
Hungover to fuck after the banned episode of the Geek Pro podcast that's never going out until Matt pisses me off to the point where I just will release it. But
I think I know what this is.
It's really hard to get your arm in. Just like it's fucking Godzilla.
Oh god, it is.
Yeah. Mate, you need to bring that with you to LFCC. Do some video.
Do you know what? Get Godzilla to interview Kevin Smith.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, like fucking, what's that dog? What's that dog for MTV? Also, my arm would fall asleep. Like, so, Kevin, tell me about your foot. And then just be like that, and I'm like, wake up. No, it really is. Kevin, help me. It's stuck. I love you. Help me. No, it is quite hard to get into it. I have to, like, twist my fingers around inside it to get them out actually, but I mean it's worth it, isn't it? All the best things in life, you have to really get your hand up there and then just twist your fingers at the end. I think that's really how you get where you want to be in life. Isn't that right? Waka waka waka.
You know what I'm looking forward to, because I do want to see Kevin Smith. I'm hoping to go to his talk. I've just imagined they're going to go, hey Kevin, when's Clerks 3 happening? Ah!
No, because they were going to do a series then, weren't they? And then it all sort of fell apart.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, man, I'm going to be in awed reverence. I'm going to every talk that man is doing. I'm going to go. I've already dibs the fat man on Batman. I think I might have to actually physically fight Josh, which I'm totally fucking down to clown. But yeah.
Just put your arm up and give the Godzilla going, Kevin!
I wouldn't derail his talk. The man, every word that falls from his gossamer lips is a calling from the gods. He channels the Lord himself when he speaks. I couldn't possibly do that. No way.
It's mad that is sort of he's such a I'll start again. He's got such a big cult following. Considering like his movies never really do amazingly, many people love him and stuff. So it's just mad. You know, I grew up on Kevin Smith films. You know, first one ever. Well, obviously, what's the one with the clown in it? The first one he did. There's fuck. No. It was before Clerks. There's one before Clerks, and it's got Dante. I can't remember the actor's name, and he plays a.
No, that's the thing that Brian Johnson did.
Oh yes, that's right.
The horror film. Yeah.
Is it a horror film? No, because what's it called?
I don't think that was before, dude. I think that was after.
Was it?
Brian Johnson like kind of became friends with them. During the Clerks era.
No. It was Josh Mosier's. I think it was one of his, possibly.
Scott
Mosier, yeah, and Josh Mosier. I've got Josh in the name. Scott Mosier. Yeah. It might have been him actually.
Who I'm friends with on Facebook.
Well, ask him then, Mike. Ask him what's that film with you? And there's a clown, and it's got the guy who plays Dante from Clerks, and he's a clown in it. Yeah.
Or we just IMDb it.
Yeah, okay, do it now.
Instead of wasting Scott Mosier's precious time, let's just wait. Let me talk about something incredible today. I wasted the time of one of the best bass players in the country, literally just to annoy my friend. Right, I've got a friend. He's sound engineer, solid bloke, guy called Graham Waller, and he's really, really anally retentive. Like. He literally said that we were once talking about shaving his head. I was like, because he's got a massive beard. I was like, dude, shave your head. You'll literally look like Kratos in the new God of War game. And he was like, yeah, no, that sounds really good. Yeah, I thought I could always shave my head. And then I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm coming over right now. Like, I'll fucking shave your head. Let's do it. And he said, I've just had a haircut. I want to get my money's worth. And that's the kind of dude he is. And I was like, okay. So anyway, we came up with this idea of like every time he does something very, very Graham, like Seinfeld, would do like the bass thing. Yeah. Well, I was like, let's just get that, and then saying like something like that's so Graham or that's classic Graham Waller. Well, anyway, I messaged one of the world's best fucking bass players who I happen to be friends with, a guy called Jordan Brown, and he only went and fucking did it. And the glorious thing of that is it's like such a waste of his talent and effort, but it's made me so happy. Yeah, I will play it for you because I ended up putting it on YouTube, and it is glorious. It is a bit of a weird in joke, but Graham is kind of a kind of local celebrity, so.
That's classic Graham Waller.
Isn't that fucking amazing? So that's a thing that exists.
It is.
Because I asked for the time of an incredible bass player to be just fucking wasted for an evening.
Actually, it's the film's called Vulgar, and it's actually after Dogma. Well, I actually thought it was before Clerks or something, but yeah, it's called Vulgar, and it was after Dogma.
Why did you even question me?
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's a bit of clawing, so it's kind of right. Just didn't get the thing right. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah, it's apparently like really fucking dark. I've not ever been able to get a hold of it like legally, and I've got this weird thing with like Kevin Smith stuff where I always want to like anything him or anyone involved with him. I always want to try and get it legally.
I've got a signed Mallrats DVD from Kevin Smith.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because he used to, if you bought stuff from his store back in the day via SKU, he'd sign it all. He signed everything.
All right.
Yeah, so I've got some. I'm not sure. Oh, you might be able to see. I'm not sure. You might be able to see this, Mike. We'll see. Oh, I'm not gonna get this. Over here.
All right, I'm gonna have to go to the feed. Give me a second. I'm gonna go to the feed. So you better get this party started.
So if people are listening to this, you don't know. I'm just pointing randomly at nothing. But up here, if Mike can see, and
I'm just waiting. Fucking, it's not telling me that we're live. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay, I'm looking. Yeah.
Yeah. These I've got 2 signed. Jay and Silent Bob. I've got Jay. I know that's Silent Bob, Jay, Bluntman, and Chronic. And
that's so fucking cool.
These 2 up here are signed by Kevin Smith.
That's amazing.
I bought them years and years ago when I was at university. Then got stung for import tax because I didn't understand it back then.
That's so cool.
Yeah, they've got the Jay and Silent Bob figures. Have got like the blueprints from Mallrats and stuff like that. It's quite amusing.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm literally incredibly jealous of you right now. You don't deserve these nice things.
I bought them ages and ages and ages ago. I got Mallrats signed DVD, and I got with all the extra bits from Mallrats in it. Have you actually watched Mallrats with all the extended bits?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then I got those, and he signed them. So he signed everything.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. The only thing I bought from the Secret Stash was a movies worker outfit. So it came with a cap, which I don't think I have anymore, the name tag, and the movie shirt, which I will be wearing the movie shirt for LFCC 2017, probably for the entire weekend, just like a sweaty fat mess, stinking to high heaven, just being like, I love Kevin, because I've got nothing better to do in my life.
The last
I just imagine you and the puppet. Kevin. Kevin.
The last LFCC myself and Mike went to.
Carnage.
It was carnage. But one of the most hilarious things that has ever happened to me was we'd left. The girl I was seeing at the time just broke up with me when we were there. And
did she really? I didn't know she broke up with you there.
Yeah, she broke up with me there, so I was slightly bummed out and trying not to sort of be sort of overly sort of bummed out. But yes, I'd been seeing a girl and she broke up with me and I was there and stuff. But Mike, and I didn't know this, I'd obviously left my phone trusting him, and and I don't know if I don't sure if I've still got the photographs or not. They're probably flying around somewhere. But it's basically Mike took me some personal photographs to keep me warm at night. And there's some sexy Mike action going on there, you know. I was just like going through my phone and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Con, dude.
That was
a different con.
No,
that wasn't that was LFCC like 2013.
No, it was the one. No, it wasn't. It was the one that we had that small room together.
Yeah, so that wasn't LFCC like 2013. 15. That wasn't like the Carnage one. That wasn't the girl. That wasn't a girl you were seeing and just broke up. That was like your long. That was the long-term one that had broken up with you.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And yeah, so we were sharing that room together. You slept on the bed and I slept on the floor because he's the boss. And yeah, it was. I took you some personal photos. I just want to say, my dick isn't in any of them. Like, mostly topless. I think one was in my pants.
Well, there was just like I was getting home in the train, and I was like, I look at my photo, I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And I was just sitting there pissing myself, and like people were just looking at me like, what the fuck is going on?
I was really hoping you were going to say these photos are actually taken in like in the conference centre or something. So like, say you got like Peter Mayhew behind you or something, striking a pose with you while you're in your pants. That would have been brilliant.
In fairness, I could have just like got really angry at anyone and just go, "It's a cosplay," and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool." I could have just said three. Walter White. I could have just said 3 random Japanese words, and then like I could have just been in my pants. I could have done like got some eyeliner and just gone where like that across my face and gone, "It's from Concrete Teku Rakana, dickhead." And they'd have been like, "Oh man, yeah, no, I've watched all 7 seasons of that." I said, "There's actually 8 seasons in a film," and I'd have got away with it, probably. Honest.
I was just
a bit of pipe as well. So, I mean,
I was just gonna say before we obviously wrap up, one thing that I thought was quite funny from last week 2 weeks ago now was the Han Solo film, which has been filming with Ron Howard, which is crazy because this film was about 75% complete with Lord and Miller, and I trust these guys. I thought they were going to make a great movie, and then they bring in Ron Howard. I'm not saying Ron Howard's a bad director, but the last 5 films of his I've watched have been absolute shit. So I'm quite
What thing is what they fired them because what was the reason?
They weren't taking direction from executives.
Yeah. Was that it? Because I heard there was something to do with the way they were portraying Han Solo, and it was just.
Yeah, apparently they were saying that they were portraying him as a bit too cartoony, and apparently the executives were very upset by is it Aidan Ehrenreich? I think that's how you say his name, or Alden Aaron Abbott. I don't know, but anyway, he was apparently upset about how he was being seen. And so he basically went up to the big wigs at Lucasfilm and just went, "Yeah, I'm not happy with how I'm being shown." But why would you wait until the film is nearly complete to say I'm not happy with how I'm being shown this movie?
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing, Katie says, because Fleabag is in it.
Yes, Phoebe something Waller. I've forgotten her full name.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yes, she's fucking hilarious. And if you haven't watched Fleabag, go and watch it. It's on like iPlayer, but it's an incredibly funny dark comedy. It's just incredible. Very sad, very moving, but also fucking incredible.
Cool beans.
Oh. Like I say, I do have my doubts. I mean, I'm kind of hopeful that this film will be good because I did enjoy Rogue One. I really loved The Force Awakens. I'm looking forward to The Last Jedi, and I'm kind of hoping that Han Solo film would be fun. And I'm not saying I want him to be like Jim Carrey kind of wacky, but I'd like him to be a little bit zany because this is supposed to be a younger Han Solo. I reckon he was probably a bit more cocky then. He was taking the piss out of people a lot more. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
They should just make it not X-rated. Actually, should make it X-rated. They should make it R-rated.
Yes, a Han Solo story, the Triple X parody.
Yeah. Han Solo.
Oh. Is that what we're really going to end on?
Yes. We need a hashtag for this, by the way. Daniel says apparently they were making too much in the style of Ace Ventura, and they weren't happy with it.
So what, is he talking out of his arse?
Excuse me, can I ask you a question? Do you have a mint? Maybe some bakaka?
Yeah. Stuff.
Yeah, stuff.
Stuff and ting.
Yeah. Quick update on the Terriers there, please, John Joe.
Yep, the latest update. They have been silent for about the last 20 minutes. I can only assume that they are in bed, they are knackered, and they're preparing for a busy day ahead of them tomorrow.
Oh.
For a busy day, you mean humping? Lots of humping.
Basically, dogs have 3 main goals in their life, and that's to basically eat, sleep, and fuck. That's basically it.
That's kind of my thing as well, really. I think that's just most men. All the other stuff sort of is like peripheries, basically.
I think those are the staples of a successful relationship. Feed your human, fuck your human, listen to your human. I think those are if you communicate, feed each other, and do the nasty, I think you'll probably be fine.
I reckon I get at least 2 out of 3 correct. So.
I'm trying to figure out which ones.
That will be for next week's podcast.
Oh my god! Oh, he's fucking what a consummate fucking professional. That was a glorious finish. I'm fucking calling it there. And if you want to know more about John Joe's horrendous sex life, then you can tune in next week for the Geek Pride podcast. I've been Mike Orvis. There've been Terriers. Matt Geary's been on it. John Joe's been doing it. We're probably all going to go and have a sad wank now. Thank you very much for joining in. And if you want to see more from Geek Pride, then you can follow us on this here Facebook page. And if you want to hear more from Geek Pride, you can follow us on iTunes and listen to it there with your ears. And if you're kinesthetic, if you're synesthetic, meaning you've got synesthesia, meaning you are struggling with your inputs and getting them confused, you might be able to see this podcast with your special eye powers, or smell this podcast with your special smell powers via the YouTubes, or via the SoundCloud, or via the iTunes. If you want to hear more of me, you can find me at @the_dark_Mike on the Twitters. You can find Matt Geary at Matt Geek Pride, or you can find us, the collective, the hive mind, at Geek Pride 1. John Joe, do you have a Twitter?
I do have a Twitter.
What
My
the fuck
Twitter
aren't you
is
following then?
my Twitter is TSW John Joe.
What's the TSW stand for?
That's for the other thing that I do the writing for.
Oh, what?
Totally stick
What?
wellies.
Oh my god.
He does reviews about various wellies.
Yeah.
TotallySickWellies.com. I've seen your work, and it's really good. It's really good. The way that you talked about the Morrison's own brand wellies and compared them to the Tesco's high-end wellies and said that basically it's the same thing, and made a really interesting comment on capitalism and branding was wonderful. And I think
the only way they became stylish though is when I put the bullet holes through them. That's when they became really
oh, this guy, I like him. There was a reference as a cliffhanger. He's doing half my work for me. Everything of that out on Twitter, on Facebooks, and everything else. I've been Mike Orvis. Matt, it's your turn.
I've been John Joe. I've been Matt Geary.
I've apparently been Mike, if we're going this way, but I have been John Joe, but I could have been anyone else.
You've had to be me for any length of time. We will catch you next week. Goodbye, you sexy mothers. Goodbye.
Bye.